in the legal way, not the illegal way. Do not commit zina and adultery with me. He says, "Oh Allah, at that time, when my passion was so high, there was no obstacle for me to fulfill my passion and my desire with her. I resisted and I came out of the woman. I respected her view, her chastity and her honor. Oh Allah, if I have done this to please you, solely for your pleasure and your ridwan, then remove us from the difficulty and hardship and remove the boulder from in front." It is mentioned in the hadith, Allah accepted the dua of this person as well. And the boulder moved even more. But not sufficient enough for the people to come out of the cave. The third person, he makes dua to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, "Allah, I am a very wealthy person. You have given me so much of wealth. Once I have contracted an employee, a person working for me. He worked for me for some time, and one day, without taking the remuneration, the wages or the fees, he had left. And in his absence, I took his money and I invested it. I got one sheep, and then from sheep, one sheep, another sheep, and another sheep, and another sheep, until I had a flock of sheep. And from the flock of sheep, I invested even more, and I got cattle for this person. After some time, my ex-employee came up to me, and he told to me, 'Fear Allah. Give me my money that you owe me.' I told to him, 'Here's the flock of sheep, here's all the cattle, everything is for yours, take it and go.' My ex-employee told me, 'Don't make a joke out of me. You don't owe me all that. All I'm asking from you is the fees that you owe me. Not all the sheep and all this. This is not something that you owe me. Why are you making a joke out of me?' He says, 'Oh Allah, I told that person that all the sheep and all the cattle, it is from the money that I owed you. I invested the money, and all this now belongs to you. It doesn't belong to me.' He said, 'Oh Allah, I have given everything over to that person, and that person happily took it and went away. If I have done this solely to please you, for your happiness, oh Allah, you remove us from this difficulty and the hardship.' It is mentioned in the hadith, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala accepted his dua as well. And the boulder that was in front moved even more, sufficient enough now for all three people to come out from the cave. From this we understand this incident. It's just plain and simple incident, but there's so many things that we understand from this. First and foremost, we should never regard any act of ours to be insignificant. Any khair, any good that we can do, we should always do it. Never regard any good act to be small and insignificant. We don't know which act of ours will be accepted in the sight of Allah, and it will become a means of invoking the mercy of Allah upon us and removing some of our difficulties and our hardships. A mu'min is such that whenever he gets a mawqa to do any kind of khidmat, to help the people out, he never withdraws from that. He goes forward and he helps people out. That is a sign of a good-heartedness of a person. And this, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala says in the Quran Kareem, "Inna Allah la yudi'u ajra al-muhsinin." Whatever good a person does, it never ever gets wasted. This guarantee Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala gives us. At times, we will benefit with our good deeds, maybe in the dunya. It is mentioned in the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "As-sadaqatu tudfi'u ghadab ar-rabb." When a person gives sadaqah, and sadaqah is not only confined to some monetary contribution that a person makes. One is that the person got excess money, he takes it and he gives it to a madrasa, masjid, or any good Islamic institution, he gives it to that. But sadaqah is not confined to that. Any good deed that a person does, as it is a sign of truthfulness of his iman. It's a sadaqah of his iman, and that is why every good deed is called sadaqah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Kullu ma'rufin sadaqah. Every ma'ruf or every good deed, that itself is sadaqah. So no person should regard any good deed to be small and insignificant. And whatever good a person does, it removes the anger of Allah Ta'ala. In one hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained, give sadaqah. And sadaqah again, not confined to monetary contribution, any good that a person does. In fact, in one hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that if a person is married and he takes a morsel of food and he puts it in the mouth of his wife, that it also is sadaqah. Sahaba mentioned of Prophet of Allah, this the person is enjoying. So, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that this is also sadaqah. When a person becomes intimate with his wife, that is also sadaqah, because it's fulfilling the haqq of the wife. Sahaba mentioned of Prophet of Allah, this again the person is enjoying. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that what if he did not fulfill his passion with his wife and he fulfilled it in the wrong avenue? The fact he fulfilled his passion with his wife, he abstained from the wrong avenue, that alone is also sadaqah. Every good deed is sadaqah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, when a person, he does any good deed, sadaqah, and if there's any bala or any musibah to come on the person's way, with the barakat of this good deed, Allah Ta'ala remove that bala and the musibah from the way of the person. So, wherever we get any opportunity, anything we see, sometimes probably as we come out of the masjid, we see somebody's shoe is not right. Regard that to be an act of virtue, straighten the shoes up. Or, for example, as we come out, we probably see somebody wants some help and assistance. Somebody probably wants a ride home. That's sadaqah. We go home now after the Tarawih, the wife is not feeling well, and to make the khidmat of the wife, that is also sadaqah. Unfortunately, some men are such that when they enter the house, they enter like a lion, and when they come out of the house, they come out like a tiger. वो गलत तरीका है. That's not nice. Right? First sadaqah starts at home. घर के अंदर में अच्छाई का मामला है. Be good to everybody in the house. Good to our friends, good to our associates, wherever you can benefit any one of mankind. Not only mankind, even if you benefit animals, that could be a means of your najat. The incident is very clear in the hadith. One woman who was very immoral. She was a zaniya, committing zina all the time. She happened to pass a well, and she saw that there was a dog that was panting for breath, very, very thirsty. When she saw the dog, she was a woman that chose to commit sin. But when she saw the dog, she thought to herself that this dog is thirsty. I quench my thirst. How the dog must be feeling? She takes out a leather sock, she puts it inside the well, and she draws water out. And she goes by the dog and opens the mouth of the dog and puts droplets of water inside the mouth of the dog. This act of this woman was so beloved in the sight of Allah that Allah accepted it, and this became a means of forgiveness for that woman who was immoral. On the contrary, there was one woman. She was a very outwardly pious woman, but she had a cat in the house. She would tie the cat up. She wouldn't give the cat food, and she wouldn't even leave the cat free, so that at least the cat would eat from the creatures of the ground. When she died, Allah punished her for that, because she was hard and she was